My sister disappeared, leaving her kids on my doorstep without a trace. I, a 27-year-old female, have an older sister, 31, who I haven't been in touch with for the past 7 years. We didn't have a fallout or fight, she simply disappeared one day. 7 years ago, my sister left her twin toddlers with me, saying she'd be back at the end of the day after running some errands. Her kids were 1.5 years old at the time, and I agreed to watch them because it wasn't uncommon for her to ask me to babysit when she had work or our aunt was unavailable. Our parents passed away when we were both around 10, and we were raised by our maternal aunt, who is now 47. When my sister brought the kids to my place, my aunt couldn't take them because she was sick. At the time, I was almost done with college and living with friends in an apartment. My friends were out celebrating, so I stayed back. I took care of the kids for a while, but after 9 p.m., I got worried because my sister was very late. I tried calling her many times, but the calls didn't go through, and she didn't reply to my texts. I waited a bit longer and then asked my aunt for help. She tried calling my sister too, but her calls couldn't get through either. I checked my sister's social media, but everything was turned off, so I couldn't contact her there. My friends came back around 11 p.m. and also tried calling her, but with no luck. Eventually, I had to accept that maybe my sister didn't plan on coming back that day. However, that one day turned into a week, then a month, a year, and finally 6 years. My aunt and I reported her missing 24 hours after we couldn't find her. We didn't want to believe she did this on purpose and didn't want to return. It was tough, but a few months later, I came to terms with it. My sister and I weren't particularly close growing up, as she was different from me, but I still loved her as family. She turned into a bit of a party animal in high school and decided not to attend college. Instead, she moved in with her high school boyfriend at 19 and got a job. Unfortunately, they wasted much of their income on drinks at clubs, clothes, makeup, and her boyfriend's sneaker collection. They often asked my aunt for rent money, which increased when she got pregnant and had to visit doctors frequently. Fortunately, my aunt could afford it since she ran a successful business and had never married or had kids. We were all the family she had, so she helped without complaint, though I could tell she was displeased with my sister's lifestyle. My sister eventually disappeared with her boyfriend, and none of their friends knew where they had gone. We had to make our peace with the fact that they might never come back. I didn't know if she was even alive until last week. 6 years have passed, and I'm now an investment banker living with my aunt in our childhood home, which we recently repurchased. We had accepted that my sister wouldn't return, but she made a sudden reappearance last week, surprising us both. She'd been back for 3 weeks and had asked a few old friends to help her find us. When she finally did, she seemed happy to see us at first, but my aunt and I had mixed feelings. You don't just disappear for 6 years without warning and expect everything to be the same. We tried to be polite and civil, but the conversation was strained. We didn't ask where she'd been because it didn't seem to matter, and she didn't offer an explanation either. After some time, she asked about her kids and wanted to see them. However, her kids didn't live with us. My aunt and I took care of them for almost a month after she disappeared, but we couldn't manage full-time care. I was a college student, and my aunt worked. Babies need constant attention, and I had to study. My aunt couldn't manage both work and kids, so after nearly a month, we made the tough choice to let another family adopt them. Since they were technically abandoned, they were free to be adopted after a long process. A kind couple named Adam and Martha adopted them. We still keep in touch and visit the kids. I didn't tell my sister everything because I knew it would upset her, and I didn't want her to bother Adam, Martha, or the kids. I just told her we had to give them up for adoption when she left them with me. She thought I was joking at first, but my aunt and I were serious. It wasn't a funny situation. Eventually, she realized we were telling the truth and got very upset, screaming and calling us cruel and heartless. She sobbed violently. My aunt and I let her throw a tantrum, but after she calmed down a bit, I asked her to leave since we had nothing more to discuss. She left, but she was still crying. It was disturbing to see her that way because she wasn't usually emotional or expressive. My aunt and I didn't know how to react and decided not to talk about it at all. It was draining enough that my sister had shown up after so long and expected things to remain the same, then screamed at us for doing what anyone else in their sane mind would have done. We didn't want to make it worse by discussing it further. Yesterday, I received an email from my sister, and she said a lot of things that I feel I have to talk about. My aunt has a lot to deal with because her business is doing exceedingly well, and I don't want to disturb her or ruin her vibe right now by bringing this up. So, I'm here instead. My sister said she'd been counting on me and trusted me to keep her kids safe, but I failed her by abandoning them. She was disappointed in me and wanted me to help her find her kids so she could take them back. She also wanted my aunt and me to apologize for behaving badly with her if we wanted her to be part of our lives. She ended the email by saying she'd be waiting for a reply and told me to make it quick because she wanted to see her kids as soon as possible. The email reeked of entitlement, and I lost my cool after reading it. It was disgusting. She hadn't even told us where she'd been for the past 6 years but expected my aunt and me to act like we were family again. In the heat of the moment, I replied, saying she did her kids a favor by leaving them with me and then disappearing because now those poor kids have a chance at a better life, one she could never provide. I told her she would have been a terrible mother and they were lucky to escape her. I sent the email in the evening. Later, my aunt came to my room and told me that my sister's boyfriend had called her business contact number and said she'd read the email and had a total mental breakdown. She kept repeating that she wanted her kids back and had to be sedated. I feel really guilty now and think I was excessive in telling my sister that her kids were lucky she abandoned them. Update 1. Hi, folks. Firstly, I want to thank everyone who responded to the original post. Sending love to everyone with messed up families and psychotic sisters. I know it's not easy, but we deal with it somehow. It's been 3 days since I posted, and the response has been overwhelming. Now I know I'm not at fault here, and whatever I said in that email was 100% true. It's not my fault she had a breakdown because she brought that on herself by abandoning her kids with no explanation. She never communicated that she wanted me to take care of them during her absence. She lied and told me she'd be back at the end of the day, so I signed up to babysit for a few hours, not the next 6 years. As much as I love my nephews, babies are a handful, and I couldn't have them around while working toward my future. I didn't agree to that. It was crazy for my sister to expect her kids to still be living with me after 6 years. Regarding her email, I didn't abandon her kids. If anything, I helped them by leading them to better parents who actually care for them. My sister abandoned them at my place and disappeared. She hasn't even told us where she'd been, and I don't care to ask. It's entitled of her to expect that we owe her anything, let alone help find her kids. As for an apology, she can forget about it. I don't want her to be part of my life. She hasn't been part of my life for years, and I'll be fine if she continues to be absent. It's been 3 days, and we haven't heard from her or her boyfriend again, and I'm okay with that. People can call me heartless, but I don't care about what happened to her after her breakdown. My aunt and I faced many difficulties after she left and were worried sick, but she didn't bother to check on us. Why should I extend the same courtesy to her? My sister can play the victim all she wants, but she's far from it. She created this mess and now has to deal with the aftermath. I can't imagine how entitled and delusional someone must be to act out after abandoning their kids and then finding out they were adopted by a better family. We informed Adam and Martha because they deserve to know. I don't know what they'll do, but I trust them. They love the kids and won't let them come to harm, which means staying away from my sister. Adam was concerned when I told him and pleaded with me not to let her know who adopted them, but I assured him that wouldn't happen. He said they'd handle it if she somehow found out, but didn't want to worry too much. I hope my sister disappears for another 6 years. My aunt doesn't care either. We're glad to have each other and aren't too bothered about her presence. To those wondering if I'll reach out to my sister, no, I will not. She lost me the moment she abandoned her kids at my place, then accused me of being a bad guardian. I don't think I want to keep in touch with someone like that. I hope she moves on and stays away from us. It'll be better for everyone involved. Update 2. Hi everyone. I have good news to share this time. It's been 3 months since I posted the original and first update. We haven't heard from my sister or her boyfriend, so we assume they left us alone. My aunt and I are still close, and I plan to move to the East Coast to start a new job at another company. It's a big step, but I'm looking forward to the change. Adam and Martha reached out to me last week to say they were planning to adopt a baby girl to complete their family. They want me to be her godmother. I'm excited and have already started preparing for it. Adam said they've moved to a bigger home and want me to visit them before I move to the East Coast. I can't wait to see my nephews again. They're both adorable and doing great in school. To those wondering if my sister's boyfriend has tried contacting us, no, he hasn't. We haven't received any calls from him or my sister, so we're happy to be left alone. I hope they're well and that my sister's not having a hard time, but I don't want her to be part of my life anymore. I'm looking forward to my new life on the East Coast and watching Adam and Martha's family grow. Thank you for all the support, kind words, and helpful advice. Final update. Hi everyone. This will be my final update. I'm moving to the East Coast tomorrow and looking forward to the change. My aunt and I are closer than ever, and she'll visit me often. I'm excited about my new job and can't wait to start this new chapter. Adam and Martha have welcomed their baby girl, and I'm her godmother. I visited them last week, and we had a great time. My nephews are doing well in school and have adjusted to their new home. They don't remember much about my sister, which is good. They're happy, and that's all that matters. Thank you all for the support and kind words. I'm ready to move on and leave the past behind. I hope my sister finds peace and happiness, but I don't want her to be part of my life anymore. This is the closure I needed. Goodbye and take care, everyone.